Hey guys, before you actually start accusing me of how scared I am, because I'm never scared, and since I'm never ashamed of animals, you have to realize that I'm a vegan. Do you understand? So I'm a person who really respects the world around me, because I'm a person who actually cares about the environment. I care that I never kill animals, and I care that I never kill anything in terms of non-human animals. So when you accuse me of being ashamed of a fly because I flicked it away or something in that term, guys, just realize I'm a vegan. I'm a person who stays away from all non-human animals. That I'm a person who has strength. I have vigor. I have clarity and abundance and everything. So guys, just realize no matter what, that when you're a vegan, you're always going to live a better life. You're always going to have more energy, and that's why I'm very successful.
What is your problem in the moment? How do you feel right now? Do you have a problem right now? No. You never have a problem in life. But people who make problems are right-minded people. People who make problems are wrong-minded people. Now you realize this, that 99% of the world is wrong-minded and right-minded. You understand? So you need to be the person who is the 1% of the world who's neither wrong-minded nor right-minded. You're just there speaking your story out, giving perspective, giving value, making sure no matter what that you're neither wrong nor right, but making sure that you're the middle ground. You understand? You see the world, that the world has rules. You see that the outside world has rules. Make sure you see it. Make sure you never know it. As soon as you know it, as soon as you know something, you became right-minded. Okay? Make sure you're never falling victim. So when you're never falling victim, you're never in the right mindset, and you're never in the wrong mindset. Victims of life are people who are too right and people who are too wrong about everything. People who are too wrong just believe other people. That was me. I was a person who I'd be, hey, here's my friend. I just seen the person for the first time. I'd be going up to them and saying, I'd be saying, hey, how are you? Like, I've known them all my life. Yes, I was that type of person. I'd go up to anyone and I'd be saying, hey, how are you, my friend? Where are you from? How are you? It's good to see you. I was very crazy. You understand? So no matter what, you have to realize that people who are wrong-minded, people who are right-minded are people who, anything that you say, they just reflect it. They just say, get lost, get lost. You never know anything in life. They call you, they'll say, you're stupid. You're stupid. They'll actually call you stupid. You understand? Or they'll say, no, just get lost. And they'll waste your time. They waste your time. They say, yeah, but and they try to make you to really solve their mindset for 5 hours. And then once you're giving them all these ideas, they still never believe you. Do you understand? Those are the right-minded people. So you have to really capitulate, which is understand. Capitulating is understanding. To capitulate is to understand. Okay? And you have to realize that you need to connect these words together to really make yourself smarter. You need to do it in video like I just done. You need to do it in video as I just done. That's a better way to say it. So no matter what, realize this. A person who is an entrepreneur is in the middle. So when you're solving people's problems, you'll never be wrong and you'll never be right. You're just solving both aspects of life. And that's the middle ground. The middle ground is be a problem solver. So what does this have to do with self-indulgence? It has everything to do with self-indulgence. A person who can see the goodness in life and see the badness in life and never judge it and just be you and just go your way, I promise you, you can grow and outgrow everybody else. That's what I do. I make sure when I see wrong or right, I'm never into that. I'm never into those people. Now, yes, I see the world has problems and I go solve it for them. I give a service that way. You understand? When you see you can solve someone's problem, when you see that you can add value to someone, please go and do it, because when you're generous, you'll be richer for it. And I promise you that person will think about you more, and I promise you that person may even give you something in return. You understand? So realize this now, that when you're a person who is solving people's problems, you're a person who is self-indulgent. You're a person who is loving themselves in the moment even more, and you're doing it for free. Why are you doing it for free? Because you're a person who loves themselves the most. You realize there is no wrong or right. You realize, hey, let me help the world because the world, I see that they are wrong-minded and left-minded and right-minded brain. You understand? And you have to realize that you have to be the middle brain, which is the growth mindset, and that when you're helping people, you give a service. Zig Ziglar says, give people what they want, and you'll get what you want. But guess what? That's an old saying. That's an old saying. The real saying now is help more than enough people get what they need, and you will get more than enough of what you need. You understand? So what do you really need in life? What you need is to be better in this day, as I said in this video. You need to be one goal. You have one vision, one life, one goal. You understand? The goal is be better than yesterday, every single day. Now I promise you, that one life you have is translated into billions of lives you've lived already. You've lived already a billion lives. You understand? As long as you're growing, you're changing into a different person every single time. You're a different person. The person I am today is far different than the person I was at 5 years old. The person I am today is far different than I was at 19. Why? I'm more mature. I have more skills. I've developed. I'm much more wise. You understand? As soon as you grow more wise, you're a different person than you were yesterday. And that's the whole point of living. That's the whole point of life. That's the whole point of being a growth mindset. That's the whole point of seeing the good and evil of life. You understand? Now, seeing the good and evil of life is just making common sense. You understand? When you see someone breaking the laws, make sure that you go and help. You understand? Make sure that no matter what, that you see that the world has laws. So when you see violence and you see somebody getting stabbed, make sure that you go and help. You understand? Make sure you go and help that person. You understand? You need to help somehow. You need to help somehow. So what you do is either you call the police or you team up with people to get that person to the ground. You understand? You never just let someone die in life. You never do that. You do what the world has, in terms of life, helped you with. So no matter what, the world today is you. The world today is you. So you do how you can help yourself the most. But when you see the outside world has rules, you make sure you follow the outside world's rules, because otherwise you can break the law, in terms of you can break the outside world's law. And I suggest that no matter what, that you're always a person following the laws better and better and better, making sure that no matter what, you're never breaking the laws, you're doing everything legally. You understand? Because your life is never worth it in prison. I've been to prison. I hit a woman because she hit me. And now guess what? Because she hit me, I started complaining. You understand? She hit me first. And guess what? I was in the right mindset. You understand? I was in the right mindset, that's why I hit her. Because I never deserved to get hit. I never hit myself. So guess what? I defended myself. You understand? So guys, no matter what, that issue has finished. I've solved it. I realize now that violence is never the solution. And it never will be. Wars, actual great wars, that there was a World War I, a World War II, was never the solution in the first place. It had to never even begin. You understand? But people escalate issues. And people who escalate issues are wrong and right-minded. Do you understand? And that's why the Great War of World War I started. That's why the Great War of World War II started. And hopefully there's never a World War III. You understand? Because more people dying is never the answer either. You understand? No matter what, if I was in that position where I was in World War I and II, I'd never even fight in the first place. I never defend my own country, except for me only. So in terms of defending myself, guys, never even defend yourself. You understand? Never even defend yourself. But make sure that no matter what, you're never a victim, you're never a wrong-minded person. So guys, no matter what, see how I go back on my words? Make sure no matter what, that you're never thinking about the past. I'm better than self-doubt, I'm better than lacking. I'm always making sure that I'm living my life, I'm forgiving myself about what I say, and I'm always a person who is growing and outgrowing myself. So in terms of, say, you were in World War I and II, guys, make sure you never fight in the first place. That's what I'm saying. You understand? Make sure you never have to fight other people. You understand? Because guess what? That's never the answer. The answer is, hey, let's collaborate together. Let's build a business together as countries of the planet. Let's lead our people to become better and better. Let's have a self-education system, a better education system where everybody can grow. We do the laws, making sure that nobody is killing anybody, because nobody deserves to die. Do you understand? Nobody deserves to die in life. Now, you are what you make of your life. Just realize that no matter what, I may make a mistake in my videos in terms of what I say, but guess what? Just realize today that you never talk from the past methods, but that you realize that you put yourself in those positions and make a decision for yourself what you will do from that position. Okay? So that's how you can also be empathetic. So here's an example. Say you are a mother who is very fat right now. You're 40 kilograms in terms of your 400 kilograms. Okay, you're overweight and you have 2 kids and you'll have a mortgage. So I'll put myself in your shoes now. Say I was a mother of 400 kilos, I had a mortgage that I had to give, and also had 2 kids. What would I do? The first thing I'd do is I'll study nutrition. Do you understand? I'd be in bed all day studying nutrition. And I get my kids to order me food based on what I need in my life to lose weight. Simple. You understand? And then what I'll do is I'll let go of the car, you understand? And I'll make sure that no matter what, that the mortgage rate that I actually owe, that I owe it over a longer period of time. I try to expand that money over a longer period of time. And then guess what? I make sure that no matter what, the other people are investing that money for me. I'd use other people's money to pay off the mortgage loan. You understand? I'd start reading first about how to lose weight. Over time, I'd self-educate myself in the process. I'd be literally writing in my journal everything inside the bed. I'll just write in my journal every single day. That's how important journaling is. Every single day in my journal, just laying on bed, and I'll be getting my kids to get something for me. You understand? I use other people's help. You understand? And I'll also give some money for my kids for doing that for me. You understand? So, guys, that's what I do in that situation. So that's how you can be empathetic about a situation and put yourself in that situation so that you can help solve people's problems. Guys, realize now, what I've just said in this video has everything to do with self-indulgence. It has everything to do with self-reliance, which is also self-love and self-righteousness. You understand? Self-love is self-righteousness. Self-righteousness is self-reliance. So you have to realize no matter what, when you're a person who is self-indulgent, you're a person who is really, really using other words to express your story, to express who you are, to make sure that your story is coming out visually and in terms of your mindset and who you are, making sure no matter what, you're always a better person than yesterday, doing something that's never right and never wrong. You're never looking for who's wrong in life. Because when you're looking at a person and what they've said wrong, you always find the wrong answer. You understand? When you're looking for the person who's always right, you always find the right person. You understand? When you're looking for the right information is everywhere. You understand? But when you're looking for the growth answer, which is you're neither right nor wrong, you'll find the wisdom in those words. Okay? Because you're never judging. Okay? The never judge me part is the person who is always growing. So Tupac Shakur says only God can judge me. You understand? And who's God? Okay? Now my God is me. Now I describe God as me. Do you understand? So that's my answer. Do you understand? I describe God as me. And I never know either. Do you understand? But I am my own God. You understand? You must be your own God. And you must see that you only idolize yourself. You never idolize other people, because that's a self-indulgent person. An idolization method is when you see other people, you idolize them, you copy them, and you become an imposter about them. So there are people who are imposters in the planet. I'm not an imposter, but I see that people in the outside world are imposters. And I see the outside world has a different Jesus, and I see that Jesus is impostering and copying the Jesus of the Bible. Do you understand? So no matter what, you have to be a person who is never an imposter in your life. Make sure you're never copying other people. Make sure you're never idolizing other people. Otherwise, you look like the Jesus who's copying another Jesus. Do you understand? So no matter what, you have to realize that sometimes in life, the best thing you can do is just realize to just be in the growth. Make sure you're never right or wrong. Make sure that you're always living life. Make sure that you're always a person moving on, moving along with your work, making sure that you're doing work on the go, giving your best best effort in every single video. You're making sure that you're giving your best work. Guys, that's what self-love is all about. It's about, hey, let's help the world. You understand? Let's help the world do something incredible. As my biological grandfather would say, hey. He would say that for me, and I don't understand what that means. He says, hey, let's grow, come on. They understand? So no matter what, you have to realize there's always a better way of life. There's always something much more to do. There's always a much better person than you that can prosper when you are dedicated for it. When you're actually dedicated to become a better person, you always find a way. Guys, no matter what, I hope that you've enjoyed my video today. I hope that I really helped you to solve some issues in your life. No matter what, guys, just realize today is your biggest opportunity to start right now. There's a coronavirus going on around, and you have to realize that the coronavirus, they never even know what that is. You understand? What the coronavirus is really a stock market crash over the next 3 months. So you have to realize, I'm never crashing, but you have to realize I see that the outside world has a coronavirus going on. And I see that the outside world is reacting in terms of this virus. And I have to realize, no matter what, I'm never a virus in the first place. So when you're speaking about the coronavirus, just realize that it's happening outside of you and that you are never the virus itself. You understand? You have to realize that whatever the outside world is speaking about, that it's never about you, but that it's about them. You understand? So when somebody from the outside of the world is saying that you are something, never believe them. When somebody from the outside world is criticizing you, just go away and do you. When somebody outside of you is jealous of you, make sure that you create more jealousy in terms of make sure that you create more people to be jealous of you. Why? Because you need to be more successful. You need to be a person who's more successful in life, and either way, once you leave the crowd you're in and you become more successful than them, they'll be jealous of you anyway. And what does that mean? You have fake friends all around you. Why? Because as soon as you outgrow them, guess what happens? They're jealous of you. So be around people who are more in terms of popularity, in terms of where you need to be in life, in terms of emulate Tony Robbins and me, in terms of life, make sure that no matter what, you emulate me. You never idolize me. You never become me. You become a person who has my ideas. You become a person who has my habits. That's emulation. You never go and do plastic surgery to look like me. You understand? Or you never dress like me in terms of wear everything about me and speak like me and have my eyes and all that kind of stuff. So you need to be a person who emulates a greater person who is much more successful in terms of finances, health, wise, who has a body, who has the sexiest girlfriend. Go ask them, how did you get that? You understand? And go ask them. You understand? Go ask more questions about how to gain more value, about how to live a better life. Ask yourself more questions in your daily life on how you can become a greater person, on how you can be more determined, on how you can be more confident. Ask yourself how you can manage other people, how you can build a sales team, how you can do everything. How you can do everything about what you are interested in. Just go into Google and say how to do this, how to do this, how to do this, and go and start reading what you're interested in. And then you read, and it leads you into more reading, and then it links you into more and more interesting scenarios of your life, and then therefore you become an interesting person eventually, even more and more and more, the more you read. The more you read, the more interesting you are. And the more you do, the more interesting you are on top of that. Understand? Reading, it only leads you into doing. When you're doing this, you're really 10xing the reading. You understand? Because the reading is in the teaching. Okay? When you're teaching it, you have mastered what you've taught. As soon as you make 1 hour video about what you've said, you've mastered that video. You understand? When you've created something, when you've created a photo with a snapshot, you've mastered it. No matter if you were ugly in it, or if you were beautiful in it, whatever you were. You understand? No matter what, everybody's beautiful. You have to realize, think about the positive side. Be a person who's optimistic. Be a person who's far greater than life itself. I'm always happy. I forgive myself in everything. Make sure that no matter what, you're always positive and doing something to better your life. Make sure that no matter what, you invest in yourself the most, and realize no matter what, that time management is key. So make sure you're reading time management skills. You're doing something important in your life. You're actually making sure that you have a growth mindset. You're doing something in business. You're doing something in leadership. You're realizing there's a better world inside of you than outside of you. Realize that no matter what, the outside world is never against you, but that you must never be against anybody else. You understand? and realize no matter what that people can help you, the outside world can help you when you help the outside world first. Do you understand? First, you need to help yourself first. But even when you go help other people, first, even though when you become selflessness has to do with a person who is really, really self-indulgent, a person who's really self-reliant is selfless, a person who's really confident and courageous is also responsible and self-reliant. So realize that self-reliance is self-indulgence, and that when you're self-indulgent and you're helping other people, you're selfless. Okay? So when you're helping other people, you're putting yourself first anyway. Remember, selflessness is putting yourself first. When you teach something to someone to give them value, you are always, always, always putting yourself first in that situation. Say I go up to a few people over there now, and I start teaching them about life. I have put myself first because I had to walk up to them to teach them. I've learned something in that process, that I'm a better man for it, that I'm a better person for teaching. You understand? That I'm a better person for adding value. The more value you add, the more will be given to you. You understand? The more you teach yourself. The more you teach somebody else in the outside world, the more you teach yourself how to live life. So realize now, the more you teach and get yourself into camera, into your audio production, in terms of your audio programs and also your journal, the more you teach yourself how to do all that. So when you teach the outside world, remember, anytime you teach the outside world, you're putting yourself first, even when you're tired. Even when you're neglecting yourself, when you go and teach the outside world something, you're pulling yourself up and you're lifting yourself up. Guys, no matter what, I hope that you've enjoyed this audio program and video program. No matter what, you guys have to realize that you guys are somebody in my life right now. Because you guys are actually watching me, and you need to realize that no matter what, I'm also somebody in my life. So no matter what, you guys inspire me just for being in this video. Thank you very much for being in this video. I hope that I've inspired you. And guys, make sure no matter what, that you are self-indulgent today. Hey guys, so how to indulge in yourself. Guys, the reason that you indulge in yourself in the first place is so that you can love yourself, so you can actually be somebody more in your life. Now, there are many people out there who are self-indulging in other people more than themselves, and that means that they are actually neglecting themselves and that they are putting other people first above them. There may be a person who's actually putting other people first in terms of they're putting their kids first, they're putting their wife first, they're putting their friends first, their teachers, their girlfriends, their wives, their husbands, whatever it is. Guys, realize that the foundation of being a selfish person, a person who's actually self-indulgent, or being indulgent in yourself, which is all got to do with being selfish, and it has everything to do with being selfish, and has everything to do with self-love, loving yourself every day, making sure you're taking care of yourself. Guys, no matter what, you have to realize mindset is key. Resilience, confidence, courage, spirituality, physicality, health has got everything to do with loving yourself. So when you're putting other people first, you realize that you're a people pleaser. You're somebody who goes around life people pleasing, taking everybody everywhere, and nobody's taking you anywhere. You understand? You're the person who has to go with the crowd, while the crowd is never calling you. You have to always call them. You always have to message them. They're never calling you. And when they see you, they're never impressed by you. They're never celebrating you. And you're doing too much for them instead of doing too much for you. So the whole role of being self-indulgent is do too much for you and keep going. Do you understand? Leave the crowd, leave those people who you are with, because that way you have more time and space to focus on you. Now, when you leave the crowd, when you leave your biological parents, when you leave your biological family, you're going to find yourself alone, okay? And being alone is the reason that you live. You understand? You must live alone in life in order to see a better life for yourself. Because when you're with other people, you'll find that other people will drag you down. No matter who it is. When you're on the rise to the top of life in popularity, you can never be around average Joes and average people. You understand? Because they'll just laugh in your face about everything you do. You show them something that you succeeded in, they'll be like, so what? That's a turn off. You understand? That's a turn off, and it's also dragging you down. It's also hypercritical of them to be doing that. So realize that no matter what, you never seek validation from other people in the first place. When you're never seeking validation in the first place from other people, you'll find yourself more self-indulgent, you love yourself more, you be more selfish, you actually figure out a way for yourself to get around, you start planning, you start doing something relating to your love for yourself and making yourself healthier, making yourself sexier, making yourself somebody in life. No matter what, those people who you surround yourself with are the number one reason you find yourself where you are. Do you understand? It's the number one reason why you are where you are. No matter what, it's never anybody's fault about where you are in life, but you have to realize now that you have to trust people who are giving you value. You have to trust people who are lifting you up and giving you ideas, and people who have popularity right now. You understand? Because people who have popularity will teach you more about how to become everything more than those people who never had popularity. Now, no matter what, I'm a person who long term is popular. Why? I'm doing free content for the world. I'm making sure no matter what that I travel, that I have a beautiful life. I see that I'm living better than everybody else in life. I'm never jealous of anybody. And guys, it's up to you to find a person who is inspirational in life. It may be me, it may be somebody else, but make sure that the number one inspiration in your life is you the most. Now, no matter what, you need a mentor. You need teammates. You need support in their life. Go and find some help. Go and find some help from people who are actually millionaires and billionaires today that inspire you. Maybe you've found a name for yourself in terms of who can actually be inspiring you on a daily basis. Make sure that you go and check them out for free. Make sure that no matter what, you invest in those people who lift you up. It's the best way to love yourself. When you're gaining more ideas, when you're gaining more wisdom, when you're gaining more money, when you're gaining more sex, you have more of everything in life, you realize that you love yourself more. Those people who love themselves more are always people who are doing more for everybody else than, for example, they're doing more for those people who are doing more in the world overall are people who love themselves. So that means those people who are doing more for everybody else, more for yourself than everybody else, you realize that you are number one. You must be able to do more in the world, no matter what. You have to be able to lift people. You have to be able to be number one in your life to really succeed. So the whole point of doing more for everybody else is to do more for yourself first. Realize that 51% of the love must come from you. And then, you understand? You must love yourself 100%. You must love yourself 100% and just forget the outside world. Never even love the outside world. Just love yourself the most. Never focus on the outside world. Never see what the outside world is doing. Never go to seek people in outside life. Never chase women in outside life. You understand? Never look for outside stimulants to help do something for you. And definitely never, never, ever take pills to make sure that you have higher testosterone levels or that you have vitamin C or that you have all the nutrients you need, because pills will never solve your issues. You understand? Pills also cost money. And pills are also a tragedy in life for everything. You understand? No pill will ever solve your problem, no matter what. Guys, no matter what, you have to realize that schizophrenia I had before. The medication alone never solved my schizophrenia. Do you understand? That I had. So no matter what, I am a person who is a former schizophrenic today. I overcame schizophrenia. And schizophrenia is a debilitating issue with mindset. And I was a person who had a poor self-image. I was a person who was lacking self-esteem and confidence. I was a person who was on the drugs. And I was fat. I was eating meat. I was smoking cigarettes. I was drinking caffeine. My teeth looked very ugly. Guys, I had minimal sex in my life. You understand? I suffered for 10 years and 7 months. And I had a below 30 ATAR in my year 12 my year 12 high school, which is the HSC. And guys, I was never even able to qualify for a college. So guess what? That's the biggest blessing of my life that I just said. Why? Because I now experience more than everybody else in terms of life. Nobody else has gone through the life I have, and I've overcame my obstacles, and so can you. So that being said, that when you overcome obstacles, you'll see more and more how you can be self-indulgent, how you can just focus on yourself because only you are worth it. You understand? Focus more on yourself than you do on me in life. So when you're reading everything that I give you in terms of information, make sure that you're picking up ideas, making sure that my ideas are helping you, and make sure that no matter what, that I lead you in a better place. So no matter what, I'm always leading you in a better place. But make sure that no matter what, you're smarter than me in what aspects of life that you need to actually do something. You understand? Make sure that you're smarter than everybody else in the world. You understand? You have to be a smarter person. You have to be somebody who's always doing something incredible, doing something more smart than the next person, looking more sexier than the next person, having greater muscles, having better physicality, having better health, better vibrancy, better nutrition levels. You understand? You have to take care of yourself. You have to plan during daily life. You have to make sure that your schedule is flexible, making sure that you have no 9 to 5 job in daily life, making sure that no matter what, that you're forgiving yourself on a daily basis, because forgiveness is self-indulgence. To forgive yourself is to be happier. The moment you are forgiving yourself every single minute and every single second is the moment that you're letting go of the past and you're looking forward to something more in life. So those people who are self-indulgent are really people who are selfish. And selfish people need more. Selfish people are greedy. You understand? I'm a greedy person. Now, greedy people are never evil. You understand? To have more money is never to be evil. You understand? Now, money can be used in evil ways and it can be used in good ways. Guess what? Use money to grow you. Nothing else. So the evil way of life is dying. The good way of life is growing. No matter what, just realize there isn't a good or bad. To just be you and just to grow. You understand? Just realize now that you need to be a person who's far out maneuvering everybody else. So I realize sometimes I read from mentors, but my mentors are leading me in a certain direction. And I've already been in that direction. I already see that direction. I already understand that direction. I have to go something much better than that. So sometimes I may be giving you ideas and you may have applied everything that I've actually said. So congratulations in that point of view. So no matter what, I'm never doubting anybody, but I'm never doubting myself the most. And no matter what, I always make sure, no matter what, that I'm a person who's always forgiving myself and others. I'm a person who really believes that the world can be a better place. Why? Because I stand for it. I'm a person who stands for a better place. As long as I live in this world, I promise that the world's lifting. Because I'm lifting. You understand? I'm always lifting, I'm always growing. So through me, everybody will see me and they'll be saying inspiration. Why? Because I keep my habits. I keep my habits, I keep in integrity. I'm always focused on myself, I'm focused on what I'm doing. I'm making sure that I'm growing, I'm making sure that I plan daily ahead. I must plan every single day. Recently, I thought that I skipped a day in terms of my journaling because I went from the 24th of March to the 26th. I was saying, where's the 25th of March? My actual day's worth of journaling. And I thought I actually skipped a day of my journal. I was like, oh no, because a day's worth of journaling is so much content that I can produce and so much content that actually can get me ahead. So I see how it feels to never do my work. It's a tragedy. So what is my work? My work is me. So in my journal, I just write about me and how I can improve for one day, which is 24 hours of productivity about me. And no matter what, I post it online for free and go check it out, my journals. No matter what, my journals will teach you so much about life. You just have to be dedicated to reading all the information. Read one journal of mine a day. Guys, it's going to be full of inspiration. It's going to help you to give you ideas. And then use the ideas that I have already so that you can do something even better. No matter what, guys, use me as a stepping stone. Do you understand? Because I'm for free right now. You understand? And no matter what, I never know what will happen in the future, but guess what? I predict right now that I will live forever. Do you understand? I'll live right now forever. And I'm never going back on my integrity. I'm never going back to the person I was. Why? Because I'm disciplined more than enough to realize that doing the same things over and over will never ever get me into a better place. So I learned from my mistakes. I make sure that I grow from everything that I do in a mistaking way. I make sure I learn from my mistakes. I make sure no matter what that I'm never stuck in the past. I'm never talking with people from the past. I'm never messaging people from the past. I'm never trying to impress people on social media in terms of my Instagram only, because I only have Instagram. I'm never posting anything online so that other people see. I'm posting whatever I need to post for my business because I need to see that bit. I'm posting everything that I do online for me. I'm never doing it for other people. And that's the authentic thing about life and being self-indulgent. You understand? A self-reliant person is a self-indulgent person. Well, what is a self-reliant person? A self-reliant person is a person who's responsible for themselves. It's a person who is independent on themselves. Is a person who has employees. Is a person who also has interdependent skills. So self-reliance has everything to do with selfishness. Self-reliance has everything to do with being responsible and accountable. Self-reliance has everything to do with courage and confidence. Self-reliance has everything to do with self-love and empathy and leadership. So you have to realize that this all makes a difference, and each video that you do give, you'll be greater and greater and greater and greater throughout time, because guys, as you are speaking more and more throughout life, you're going to realize there is a better life out there for you. So realize that when you're losing yourself in the moment, that you come back into the moment and that you really, really push that content out into the world, realizing, hey, that I have a mindset, that I'm confident enough and more than confident enough. Make sure that you're always more than confident. Never enough confidence. Make sure that you never have enough. Make sure that you have more than enough. Always search for more than enough. Have more than enough in life. Why would you have enough when you can have more than enough? You understand? Always look for more. More. The more you have, the better for you. The more, the merrier. Why have enough kids when you can have more than enough kids? Have 5 kids instead of 4 kids. Have 6 kids instead of 5 kids. Have 7 kids instead of 6 kids. You understand? The more you can manage yourself, the more you can manage other people. And self-reliance has everything to do with managing. It has everything to do with inspirational work. So when you're self-reliant, you'll be more inspirational. You'll be a person who's leading. You'll be a person who is really, really on top of life. So in that aspect of life, you're always looking for words to say that you need to say so you can help people stay in a better way in terms of mindset, in terms of growth mindset. You have growth mindset books, you have success books, you have personal development books. You can dig in, make sure you just go and dig in to the ideas. And actually, the more you read, you realize the more you read, the more you take action upon what you hear, and eventually you'll start contributing the more action you take. So when you have to take 50,000 actions and you take 2,000 of them, you understand? You'll start to teach some of the criteria needed to take about 100 actions in your life or anybody's life, and then you'll start to realize, to develop this confidence about you, where you can start to really, really get on camera, really get on audio programs, and also really dig into writing and in your journal, writing quotes, making sure that no matter what, you're always a better person than yesterday, doing something reliable, okay? Because a self-reliant person is a reliable person. A self-reliable person is a person who is responsible for themselves and others. You understand? So to be responsible for yourself and others is a person who has employees. Is a person who is building their empire, but making sure that they build other empires also in other people. You understand? So no matter what, you've already built yourself into a person you need to be, but you have to keep building yourself into that person every single day, into a better person every single day. So never stop where you are. Make sure that when you're building other people, that you're building yourself more than them. Make sure that you're focusing yourself more on other people, in terms of focus less on other people, but focus more on yourself. That's what I really mean. I mean, focus on yourself more than other people. That way, you will realize that you can build your empire faster and other people will follow your lead. You understand? So John C. Maxwell says in his book that he's always one step ahead of the crowd. Why? Because as soon as the crowd's one step ahead of him, the crowd goes somewhere else. You understand? So you have to be always a person that's smarter than the rest of the people, because when you're smarter than the rest, they'll always be coming to you for help. And that's what you need. You need people coming to you for help, because when they come to you, you have attention. And that's what a self-reliant and self-indulgent person does. A person who's loving themselves more is doing more than the rest of the people. You understand? Because most of the world is neglecting themselves. So be the person who's a positive role model, who's actually self-indulgent more than the rest. You understand? By being more self-loving towards yourself, by being sober, by becoming vegan, become a vegan, you're already in the 1% of the crowd who's actually the misfits, who are actually changing the world for a better way. You understand? Do more for your environment. Instead of throwing plastic bottles everywhere, go throw them in the bin. Instead of throwing anything outside of your car, make your environment and your home, where you live in which country you live in, make it clean as possible. Treat your country as you do in your home. Do you understand? Make sure that you're never tossing rubbish anywhere. Make sure that you clean up after yourself. I left the chewing gum here, a small chewing gum over here. Make sure, no matter what, that I never leave without the chewing gum. I take the chewing gum with me, I put it in my pocket, I'll just make sure, no matter what, that I find a rubbish bin first and I chuck it in the rubbish bin. Otherwise, this over here, I'll hold it, I'll just make sure I go find the nearest bin. You understand? Because when you put chewing gum in your pocket, it may go into your pocket in terms of, it may be all gooey, so it may be sticky in your pocket. So realize, no matter what, be smarter, make some common sense. The more common sense you make, the more self-indulgent you are, the more self-reliant you are, the more self-loving you are of yourself. So that's all got to do with the same aspect of life, which is self-loving is self-reliance. Self-reliance is self-loving. Self-loving is responsibility. Responsibility is self-reliance. You understand? So it's all got to do with all aspects of life, that you need to be a person who's far outgrowing the crowd, making sure you're smarter than the rest, because guys, that's what a self-indulgent person does. It's never harder work, it's smarter work. Remember, never work harder, work smarter. Do you understand? What's a smarter way to live life? A smarter way to live life is travel more, work the 9 to 5 job less, do educational videos such as self-education, read self-education more and more, have mentors around yourself, people who are billionaires, people who are multi-millionaires, people who are very popular and in terms of more popular than you. Make sure that they are more successful than you in some area of life in terms of popularity, because that's where you need to go. Make sure that the person who's teaching you something is healthy and looking better than yesterday. Okay, realize that you distinguish the crowd in terms of who's better than yesterday and who's worse than yesterday. Sometimes you'll find a person who is so much rich in terms of financial abilities, but they look very poor in terms of health-wise. So realize they can teach you some finance, but they can never teach you health. So those people who can teach you health and finance, those people are your true mentors. You understand? Those people will actually teach you both aspects of life, and health is everything, remember. Health is more than financial aspects of life, because health is the financial aspect of life. Realize the healthier you are, the more happier you are. Okay? Money never increases your happiness. It only increases the person you are, in terms of it will amplify your success today, in terms of who you are. So say you're a level 10 success, money will only amplify your level 10 success. You understand? But when you're at level 11 health, money will amplify you at level 11. You understand? So a person who is healthy at level 500 is a person who has level 500 money even when they're broke. You understand? When you're healthy, you have all the money in the world. Okay? You have more happiness than those people who are unhealthy, even though they have more financial aspects in terms of knowledge. So when you're a person who is better than yesterday, and you look at a person who has a multi-million dollars, and you are a person who is healthier than them in life, you are richer than that person, even though they have more money than you. In all aspects of life. You understand? You're richer financially, mentally, spiritually, physically, in all aspects of life, personally, communication-wise, in EQ-wise, emotionally, everything. So realize, say a person which is person A is healthy, and that person has no money. Say person A has no money, but is very healthy and better than yesterday in terms of health. And another person is worse than yesterday in terms of health, but has all the money in the world. The person who is healthier than yesterday is also richer than the person who has all the money in the world. Do you understand that? That's an example, and that's a true example. No matter what, guys, you have to realize that the person who has the money and the health must be you. You must have the money and the health first. No matter what, have the health first and then the money. Never study real estate and chase money when you have no health. Never work a 9 to 5 job when you have no health. When you're mentally ill, make sure that you never work a 9 to 5 job, because you need to start working on yourself to really make sure that your mindset is in a better place. Because guys, if you're mentally ill and going to a 9 to 5 job, you're only going to get more mentally ill. You understand? So no matter what, 99% of the world is working a 9 to 5 job right now, and 99% of the world is becoming more mentally ill because they're working a 9 to 5 job, no matter what 9 to 5 job it is. Why? Because they're working more for somebody else than they are for themselves. You need to take control back from your life. You understand? You need to take control back in your life, and you need to realize there's a better world out there for you when you're working for yourself, and you make yourself your passion, that you make yourself your own unique person that never needs to work for other people, but that you be your own boss. You understand? So being your own boss has everything to do with self-reliance. Being your own boss has everything to do with self-love. Being your own boss has everything to do with being more responsible, more accountable, and making sure that you have a better mindset. So being your own boss has everything to do with being accountable and being a person who is self-righteous. You understand? A self-righteous person is a self-reliant person. A self-righteous person is a self-loving person. A self-loving person is a person who is always foundational in empathy and leadership. no matter what, it's all related. Do you understand? You need to relate more and more words, and you need to start vocabulary right now. You need to be a person who's starting to learn, starting to grow. Be serious about yourself. Do you understand? Other people will never take you seriously. You understand? I will take you seriously when you show me that you're serious. You understand? That's the way it is. When you're never serious about who you are, other people will never take you seriously. They always think you're fooling around. Do you understand? And they'll goof around with you. And guess what? When you're goofing around with people, you're wasting time. Never be a goof. You understand? Never be a person who's just fooling around in life. Just waiting for the weekend and going to the 9-to-5 job, making the money, and then you're giving money to the bills. Guys, I have no bills in life. I have no bills in my life. Why? Because my rent that I give for accommodation inside the hostel is really for my own growth. It's for my growth. Do you understand? When I travel in the world, when I travel in the world in terms of Australia, inside hostels, I've been in hostels now for 9 months. Guys, because I travel in hostels, I get to see a new culture because I've lived with my biological dad and my mum for 26 years of my life before. So guys, no matter what, I'm a person who is always outgrowing my parents and everybody. Make sure no matter what that you're never back with your biological parents. I'm happy I'm never back with my biological parents. Make sure that you realize that for 25 years, for 24 years, I've been living with my dad and my mum in terms of my biological dad and my mum. I'm not my biological dad or mum, I am me. I'm always realizing that no matter what, that you never live with your biological parents, and that you realize that you must be the most important in your life, a person who is always giving information, giving value so that people can grow, so that you can grow. A person who is self-reliant is a person who's growing. So a self-reliant person is a self-indulgent person. A self-indulgent person is always growing, always looking for new ideas, always making sure they're more successful than the person they see. Why? Because that way you'll gain more attention about what you're doing. So guys, just realize, when you have more success in life, when you're a person who is developing yourself more than the rest of the crowd, you realize that more people will actually approach you more than you do them. When you're never approaching people and people approaching you, you could say that success is speaking louder than words. But guess what? When you're looking better than other people, when you're doing better than other people in terms of habits, you'll see it. You'll see it straight away. And then what you need to do is you never wait, but you just keep growing, and eventually that's going to compound interest in your favor, and people will start seeing results in you, and they'll just come up to you. They'll start spreading you around as long as you're working for free. You understand? You need to be a person who's working for free all the time, because otherwise you can never gain fame. You can never gain freedom. You can never gain anything in life unless you do it for free. At first. Guys, you need to work on yourself anyway. Start doing it for free. You understand? Nobody will give you money for you to work on yourself. Do you understand? So what you love to do is really, you must love to work on yourself. I love to work on myself. I must do it for free. You understand? I must do it for free for the rest of my life, with or without money. That's my passion. That's my business. That's my brand. When you look at my Instagram has a brand of just my photos. I just love myself. And I have to love myself for free. Nobody is going to give me money for me to love myself for free. And I never expect people to give me money for me to work on myself. You understand? I have to do that with or without money. You understand? That's why you work for free. You make sure that you're more successful than those people around you. Make sure that you're traveling the world away from 9 to 5. Make sure that you do your self-education, because no matter what, even when you die, you get to leave something behind, and you get to leave a legacy behind anyway. But make sure that you ultimately grow right now so that you see what it makes of you. Jim Rohn. No matter what, you realize now that when you are a person who's growing, you will eventually hit the $1 million mark. You eventually hit the multi-million dollar mark. You have multi-millions of dollars. Eventually, you will hit the multi-billions of dollars. You just have to keep growing. Is that simple? All you need is ideas. All you need is to apply more ideas each and every time. Oprah Winfrey says that no matter what, wherever you are in life, take that first step. Take that first step. Take that first step. Just focus on the first step ahead of you and just keep walking that first step. What's the next first step in your life that you have to make to improve yourself? Go and do it. Okay? Much better for you to write it down. All your steps. You may have 20 steps that you have to make. Go and do the most difficult one, which is what Brian Tracy says. You understand? In his book, Eat That Frog. You understand? He says, write a list of your goals and go and do the most difficult one. each and every time. That's the 80-20 principle. Because no matter what, the most difficult way of life is, no matter what, that you never have a difficult life in the first place. You understand? I'll just pause the video for 1 second. So guys, I just had to pause my video camera just so I can put my portable charger so that my phone can charge. So no matter what, guys, make sure you get yourself a portable charger, because that's what a self-reliant person does. Do you understand? A self-reliant person needs technology in order to do their business. Do you understand? So when you get yourself a portable charger for 20 bucks, that's actually 5,000 mAh, you realize that you can charge your phone once for that amount of time. No matter what, get yourself 2 portable chargers, just in case. No matter what, sometimes when you're visiting hostels around the area, or when you're traveling the world in hostels, you realize that sometimes when you're sleeping in a bed, in a bunk bed, there is no portable chargers, in terms of there is no sockets around you, and it's always going to be helpful for you to have more battery on the road anyway. You understand? So realize that you invest better your money. Invest your money better, because that's what a self-reliant person does. A self-reliant person is always forgiving, is always receiving, is always doing something for the world in terms of mindset, in terms of happiness, making sure that other people are where they need to be much better. No matter what, when you're helping other people become much better, you'll be that much better. So help people to become much better. Support people to actually live life in a greater way. I promise you, do it for free, and other people will start seeing results, and then guess what happens? Then you start to see more results in your life, because you're helping other people see results. You understand? No matter what, see results first in your life. And that's all you need as your true motivation to succeed. When you have the results, guys, keep making those results and even more of them. You understand? Make more results in your life. People will eventually catch on about you and about your life and how you really live life and how you speak and how you do things. Guys, I'm serious about my work. My work is me. I'm serious about myself. Do you understand? I'm serious about loving myself. My business is loving myself every day. That's all I do. I never do anything else. I just train myself to take care of myself. I train myself to love myself. I train myself to actually live my life to the best of my ability, and there's no joking around with me. Now, you can joke around with me, but I mean, for myself, I never joke around with myself in terms of my business. That is growth. I must grow. When you see me right now speaking, I'm speaking in the best way I can in terms of growth for myself, so I can actually grow. I'm in my best phase right now. I'm speaking at my best ability right now. Each time I give a video, I see results. Okay, you may never see those results because maybe you're never even watching this, but guess what? No matter what, I never care about those people who never watch me. Do you understand? I only care about me and growth anyway, because guess what? Where's my popularity today? Guys, I'm growing anyway, with or without you. You understand? I'm growing for myself. I'm never doing it for anybody else. I'm never doing it for money. You understand? I'm never growing myself for money. I'm growing myself for me so that I see what it will make of me. You understand? And I follow Jim Rohn's words. Do you understand? He says, be a millionaire. Why? Because of what it will make of you. You understand? No matter what, go see what a millionaire is like. Go see what being a multi-millionaire is like. No matter what, realize now, I'm first in my life. I'm always first. I'm always making sure that no matter what, I'm using other people's ideas and I'm applying it in my life. I'm making sure no matter what, that I'm the fastest learner in the planet, because guys, no matter what, that's what it takes. You understand? It takes being the fastest learner and grower of the world to really, really do everything big. You understand? To think big is to make sure you're growing every single day better than yesterday. As long as you're better than yesterday, you're thinking bigger than before. And you need to compound interest that in your favor. You need to be able to grow every single day better than yesterday. For the past 9 months, I've been traveling Australia. Guys, each and every day. 8 months ago, I was better than yesterday. 7 months ago, I was better than yesterday. 6 months ago, I was better than yesterday. 4 months ago, I was better than yesterday. 3 months ago, I was better than yesterday. 2 months ago, I was better than yesterday. 1 month ago, I was better than yesterday. 2 weeks ago, I was better than yesterday. Here today, I'm still better than yesterday. I'm better than yesterday right now. I'm better today than all my life. Do you understand? How do I see that? Now, I never know that. I never know anything. I never know, but I see everything. Do you understand? I see the life. I never know the life. Why? I'm never sure of anything, because when I know something, I never grow. Do you understand? I stay in the never knowing mode. I never know anything what I say, but I see what I say. Do you understand? I see the truth. Yeah, I speak the truth. I never know the truth. Do you understand? I see the truth though. I can never explain the truth, but I see it. And I follow the truth. The truth has set me free. Why? Because I take action and I see a better way of life and I see how to grow, and that's what I'm teaching. I'm teaching how you can grow also. I'm teaching you what you can do to help prosper your life so you can succeed, so you can really benefit yourself in the long term. Guys, realize that I may have had some anxiety in my videos, but guess what? Even though I have, I'm much better today than yesterday. I'm much of a person in terms of I have more than ever right now in terms of mindset, spirituality, emotional, physicality, everything in terms of my communication, my finances. I'm making sure I'm always making the best deals, making sure I'm always doing planning every single day. You understand? Today, I went from 2 hours to 3 hours of video now. I just skipped from 1 hour a day to 3 hours of video in one day. I'm now doing 3 hours of video. You understand? So no matter what, each and every day, my basis of my life is focused around content. I just go and work. I have to leave the hostel. I have to go get food, and then I come here to the park and I make sure to do some audio content, which is in video, because video has also audio content, so you can always extract your audios from your videos, which I also suggest you do, because Gary Vaynerchuk said that to me, and I just do that. Do you understand why? Because it just makes more sense for you to do so, because you never know when you can actually combine all these audios and make this nice, beautiful CD for yourself and sell it online somewhere, wherever. You understand? No matter what, just realize that each and every video you do in life, that each and every time you're on video camera teaching something, you extract the audio from that video, and they also do 1 hour videos daily, please. 1 hour a day to start off with. Make sure no matter what, you're getting up to 3 hours a day, such as me. You understand? Why am I doing 3 hours a day? I already said, I'm very serious about my business and my work. I'm very serious about my work and my business, which is me. I'm very serious about me because I have to love me. I'm very serious about loving me. So I'm doing everything I can in my power to love me. You understand? I'm always doing something in my power to always make sure I lift myself on a daily basis, doing something according to my mindset, according to what's going to grow me, according to making sure that those words are coming out of my mindset, so that I can really, really help you to succeed, prosper, to really find those words to say so that you can really, really help yourself succeed. You understand? So when I'm a person who's far forgiving myself, I make sure that I'm always forgiving my tension. I have never had tension in my body as I give a video. So I really focus on myself. So I'm really becoming more natural as I speak, as I grow, as I do something. Because guys, no matter what, I've lived the tough lifestyle. I've lived a hard lifestyle. I worked as a laborer. I worked as a forklift driver. I worked as a van driver. I worked carrying boxes, and I also worked as a bartender and waiter. You understand? So guys, that's never the life for me. You understand? That's never the life for me. I was working for $18 an hour, $25 an hour, and $32 an hour at most. I was fired from my job for over 10 times now. I've been fired from jobs in 9 to 5 for 10 times, guys, and no matter what, it was all for stupid reasons. But guess what? No matter what, guess what? It's the smartest decision I ever made. You understand? Now guess what? Because I was fired from life, in terms of with other people, I had the decision to work on myself, and that's why it's the smartest decision for my life to have seen that I actually do better right now than ever. No matter what, I have no need for a 9 to 5 job, but I see that I made the smartest decision getting fired 10 times from my 9 to 5 jobs. Because the 9 to 5 job is never for me. I just go, for example, in the past, I've been going to the 9 to 5, and I would go to the warehouse, and I'd be miserable. I'd be going to work for somebody else, and they'd be telling me what to do. They'd be like, go to the back, chuck this in the bin, and stuff this. And I said, no matter what, this is my life, this is something I love. No matter what, I'm always making sure to never stuff this, you understand? But to make sure that this stuff is getting better. You understand? So no matter what, live in the moment, live in your vision, which is being better than yesterday. Make sure that your vision is something incredible, which is always be the best version. Guys, your ultimate vision in life is one goal. You have one goal, everybody has that one goal. And everybody can lie to you, everybody can see to never expose their plan. I see who they are. I see who everybody is in life. When I look at your Instagram, I see what you've been doing for the past years of your life. I can see it. So no matter what, when you're representing something bigger, you can automatically see who that person is. So realize that everybody in life has one goal, one ultimate vision in life. That's to be better than yesterday. No matter what you're saying, you guys may be a person who is worse than yesterday, and you may say, no. Everybody has a vision to be better than yesterday. I promise you. That's the only vision that we all have. And we must work together as a common goal, as a collaborative business entity, to make sure that this world is better than yesterday. And we must represent that every single day. Now, most of the world, including 99% of the world, and I'm never the 99% of the world, I'm the 1% of the world that really makes it in life and makes it better than before always. And I realize that 99% of the world is worse than yesterday. You can go to your local supermarket and you can see fat people, you can see old people, you can see people in the drugs. You can be looking at people and they're very ugly in terms of who they can be in life. You understand? And you have to realize that you have to be a better person, and you have to always realize, is the person you're looking at, is the wife you have, is the spouse you have better or worse than yesterday? If they're worse than yesterday, they are people dragging you down. No matter how charming they are. Do you understand? Because guys can be charming, but also worse than yesterday, and can lead you off track. Women, you ladies have to be careful for the guys that you actually go for, no matter what. As a species, guys and women out there, you guys have to make sure that you watch out for the person you marry. Especially that the person you marry is better than yesterday, is also secure in themselves. Make sure you're never going for anxious people. Make sure that you're never going for ignorant people. Make sure that you're never going for people who avoid you and people who are conditional. Okay? Make sure that the person that you see is vibrant and better than yesterday. Get to really see somebody's history and get to really see the person's first impression and see, are they better than yesterday? Do they spark interest on the moment? Do they spark interest in the moment? Or is the person just saying, or are you just saying nah? Because you can just see that they're just worse than yesterday. So when you see nah, that means get away from them, no matter how sexy she is. You understand? I see women who have gorgeous bodies in life, and they're drinking alcohol, and I say turn off. And I see Spanish women, they're in the Spanish nightclub, and they're walking around and they're acting so stupid. And guys, no matter what, for me, that's a turn off. No matter how sexy they are in a darkness, in terms of nighttime reflection or whatever, because sometimes the nightclubs, they put the lights off and people are walking around, and the woman may look sexy in the nighttime, but when you see her daily life and her habits and who she really is, and she's drinking alcohol, you can really see what time it is. Just go away somewhere else, because most of the world is 99% promiscuous, so they're just going around. Do you understand? They're just having sex all the way around. They're chasing women. They're chasing men. They're just losing in life. They're joining adult websites. They're joining pornography websites. They're watching people in terms of on cam having sex. They're watching live sex. They're watching women in terms of live sex. They're going into these adult chat websites where they can chat with locals who need to have one-night stands. And they're wasting time. You understand? So when you're doing all that, because I was a person who done all that. I've done that, I've seen it, and it's never the life for me. You understand? Hey, you need to do everything once. You need to really kiss an ugly frog, and how do I say it? You need to really kiss ugly frogs to be able to realize that you're number one in life and that I'm number one in life. I'm number one in life, but you realize I've kissed some ugly frogs in life. You understand? And you need to kiss ugly frogs before you kiss the most beautiful one for you. No matter what, guys, no matter what, I was a person who was always chasing women. I was a person who was drinking alcohol in my teenage years. In my teenage years, every single weekend, I was going party to party to party to party. I was always invited somewhere to a party. And I was also breaking laws in terms of drink driving. I was drink driving, and I was also driving stoned with the weed. I had weed, I was actually stoned, and I was driving cars. It's so stupid what I was doing, guys. No matter what, I was never caught out. You understand? No matter what, I've exposed myself completely. Guys, no matter what, just realize that it's never the way to go. Never drive stoned. Never drink driving. I used to drink an actual bottle of wine, and I used to drive the car. On one occasion, I drank a bottle of wine. I was drinking a bottle of wine and I was driving. If the police caught me on that day, I would have been suspended for 3 years of driving. I would have been to jail. You understand? So, no matter what, I was stupid. You understand? I was stupid. I was a teenager. I was very stupid. I was conditioned by the world around me to just be a muck around, to just muck around with other people and to also bully people. You understand? I was conditioned that way. I was in some terms a bully in some aspects of life. You understand? With other people. I was never 100% a bully. I was never always a bully with everybody, but I was a bully with some people. And it's so stupid to be a bully. You understand? And here I am, swap my mindset from that aspect of life to 180, and I'm going up now. You understand? Because I've seen that life is going down. You understand? Now, since I've switched over, guys, I've forgiven myself. Please forgive me too for my actions, because no matter what, realize this, that I've forgiven myself already. So then make sure you never hate me for what I've done. Otherwise, you drop to that level of what I've just said. You understand? I hope that you never hate me for anything I've done. Make sure that you never judge me for anything I've done. Make sure that no matter what, you see that people are conditioned by the world around them. And that you just take back that conditioning, and that you start conditioning yourself instead, and that you never listen to the world around you. Because the world around you never knows either. Your parents may be people who are saying, you must work the 9 to 5. You must sort your life out. You must be a successful person. But they have yet to sort their life out. You understand? So never even listen to your biological parents. You understand? So I mean, your parents, your real parents are you, but your biological parents are the people who raised you. You understand? So no matter what, realize that when I refer to biological parents, I mean your actual biological parents who had to have sex to really have you. You understand? No matter what. Realize this now, that you need to be a person who is actually always doing something incredible. Guys, I used to be a person who would go parties and do drugs, and I used to do ice, I used to do weed. Guys, I used to also take ice, I used to put it in the Coke can, and I used to drink it, and I used to do all this stuff, right? So guys, just make sure that you're never drinking alcohol, you're never doing drugs, you're never investing in drugs, you're never around drug dealers, you're never around criminal people. So that being said, that's some of my story exposed. So realize now that the more you read in terms of mindset work and how to become a better person, the more you really can be a better person, the more you actually can do, the more you can actually live to the best of your ability. So realize that health is everything, health is wealth. A person who's far greater than yesterday, a person who's actually doing something in the world in terms of success theories and making sure that they have applied it already, are people who can inspire you. They're people such as me, who's actually doing my line of work, who's actually speaking about how to do everything about life, how to do this, how to do that. Why? Because I've gained the experience necessary to be a life coach. I've lived better than most other people have, and no matter what, nobody's lived my life. I've lived the best lifestyle so far in life that I've seen today. Nobody has lived a better lifestyle than me, and nobody can definitely have my mindset. You understand? Except for me. Nobody can exactly pinpoint my mindset and who I am, unless you are a person who's far outgrowing me and far outdoing me in life. You understand? So no matter what, you need to realize that my mindset is only for me. Do you understand? So what I do is I give you as much as I can from my mindset, but for you to learn exactly like me, you'll never be able to do that. Do you understand? Unless I teach you what you need to do and you apply it, because I'll never know how much you'll go. You understand? So I never know exactly how much action you'll take, how successful you'll be, but you realize now that you keep reading anyway, because guys, you have to be a successful person. You need to surround yourself with successful people. Go in your local area where there are people who are Toastmasters, for example. And the reason I say Toastmasters, just so that you can see that there is a better crowd out there who actually can help you improve. But realize this, that when you go into Toastmasters, that you'll be alone anyway. That you'll be doing speeches just for yourself. You're doing it for free. You understand? You're never getting paid to work on yourself. That's why no matter what, I never work for pay. I work for free. I never work for money. Those people who work for money work for somebody else. They never work for themselves. You understand? That's the whole point of living life. The whole point of living life is never work for somebody else. Work for yourself. You understand? So when you're actually living life, you're a person who's free of life. You're actually a person who is living in the moment. If you're living life right now, you're never committing suicide, guys. You're making sure that you're a person who has far escalated in a better way. You're making sure that no matter what, you're never leading people in a worse direction. Make sure that you're setting the sail for people to become better than they are. Make sure that no matter what, you're always going back on your words when you have made a mistake, so that you can really clarify what you really mean. You understand? You can speak on camera. And what you need to do is when you make a mistake in terms of your speech capacity and your speech capability, You need to realize that your true potential is how excellent you speak. So to boost your communication skills is your first number one asset into becoming a better person. Why? Because communication and words are everything. What you speak manifests. The more vocabulary you have, the richer you are. The more you speak, the more you can speak, and the more you can lead the world. The more outspoken you are, the more perspectives you can give, the more value you can give, the more you can be around people, the more you can do business deals, the more you can sell yourself, the more you'll look good, the more you'll live in integrity and live your talk. You understand? So it all has to do with introversion and extroversion. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? Be both. Do you understand? Be an introvert and an extrovert. Be both. Do you understand? Sometimes you have to be extroverted and you have to do business. Sometimes you have to be an introvert and start writing on your own somewhere and lock yourself up in a solitude area. Do you understand? And you have to realize that you need to use all aspects of life. You need to be able to see the bad side and the good side of life. See the yin yang of life. And when you see both aspects, then you can say that you can grow. Do you understand? Because the yin yang is the middle ground. What's in the middle of yin yang? Huh? Because the yang may be evil, the yin may be good. But how about the middle? What's the middle ground? You understand? The middle ground is what is. The yin yang is. And then you must be the yin yang of life. You understand? You must be the person who is both ends, okay, of life. Because that way you're balanced. You understand? The evil side and the good side. You must be both. Once you're both, okay, you're in the what is. You're in the middle ground. You're actually growing. So nobody's innocent, nobody's guilty. Do you understand? Nobody's good, nobody's bad. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. Nobody's evil, nobody's good. We're just growing. So those people who are in too much of the good range, so when you are good and say this is good in my right hand and my left hand is evil. So for example, in terms of audio, just for you guys who are speaking and actually listening to audio right now, I'm speaking right now. No matter what, you may be a person who is on the right side of good, and your actual hand is going more up than the left side to make it unbalanced. Do you understand? So when you're a person who is far on the high end of good and far on the lower end of evil, you're a person who's right-minded. So this is how actually your real potential looks like. That you're right-minded, that you're actually more good than bad. So you never be more good than bad. You understand? So what do? You level it out. You be good and bad. You understand? You be good and bad first. So some people who are more bad than good, you understand? What happens is they are wrong-minded. Okay? So that's also off balance. Okay? You can never be more bad than good. You can never be more good than bad. Otherwise you're off balance. Otherwise you're too right or you're too wrong. When you're too wrong, you'll be inferior. You understand? You'll be lacking confidence. You'll be a person who is a victim of life. When you're too right, okay, you'll be a person who is, you know it, or you never even grow anyway, and you're still a victim of life. You understand? Because you're too right-minded. Okay, the right and wrong era is people who are wrong are victims of life. People who are right are victims of life. So to be self-indulgent, you need to balance your mind. You need to balance the person you are. So the person you are is good and bad. You understand? So when you're both sides of the spectrum, you can always be what you are, which is. You are right now. You understand? So realize in life that you must be both good and evil. You understand? Because when you're both aspects, when you're everything, then you can actually grow. Because you see both sides already. When you see both sides, you realize that good is just as important as evil. You realize that right-mindedness is just as right, there's no right or wrong. You realize that no matter what, that right-mindedness is just as good as wrong-mindedness. You realize no matter what, that wrong-minded and right-minded people are just as good in terms of there is no wrong or right, but just realize that right-minded people and wrong-minded people have the same equity. You understand? So wrong-minded people, in terms of wrong mind and right mind, is the same value. Okay? So when you're wrong and right, it's the opposite spectrum of life. So it just takes me a bit to really explain this. You need to be a person who's wrong and right. Do you understand? That way you can balance yourself. understand? That's a better way to say it. So when you're actually in the middle ground, you are neither wrong or right. All you are is just you. You understand? Because you see the wrong and right lifestyle. You're never too right, you're never too wrong. But you are too much of you. And that's the way you are supposed to be. You're too much of you now. You never see wrong or right. All you see is that wrong or right is in a definition of there is no wrong or right. There is just you now. You understand? That's why I say there is no wrong or right in life. There is no good, evil in life. There's no good in life. There's no evil in life. Okay? There's just you. Just being the growth mindset. Just being the is. Okay? So when you're balanced in life, when you're actually neither good and neither bad, or you can be good and bad at the same time, and you can realize you'll start growing anyway. You understand? So realize this now, that since I've taught you this nice, beautiful spiritual technique where you may see people in daily life who may be actually wrong-minded, you realize that those wrong-minded people are inferior to everybody else. They're jealous of everybody else. Then you might see a person who's always argumentative and debating with you in terms of everything in life and will never listen to you. Those people are right-minded. They believe everything that's right. And they believe just in the good lifestyle. And there are people who believe just in the bad lifestyle. And that's never what you believe. What you believe is in the good and bad. You understand? You believe in the good and bad of life. That's the real spirituality. That's the yin and yang of life. And people who see that are self-indulgent. You understand? People who love themselves the most see the good and evil of life. That, there is no bad in life. There is no good in life. There's just, let's never judge who's good and bad. Let's just grow. Oh, but then you might say, well, how can it be right for a person to chuck a baby from a balcony? Well, that's the thing. It's never wrong, or it's never evil, and it's never good. You understand? It's just what is. That's just what is. You can never argue with that. You can never ask a question about that. You understand? In the first place, when you see somebody's killed someone, you never even ask a question about that. You just realize it's just what is. You understand? You can never explain that. But what you do is you set really, really laws in the world where you say, you must never do that. You must never do that because these are the consequences of doing that. And then you make up your own rules based on your life. You understand? So no matter what, you may be a person who's actually raised yourself in terms of your life and where you live today, in terms of maybe with your biological parents. And your biological parents may have certain rules which say you must never eat pork in my house. And your biological parents say you must never eat pork with me. Otherwise, I kick you out of the house. And then you have to follow those rules, don't you? Otherwise, guess what? If you never follow your dad's rules, and I'm better than not. So if you never follow your dad's rules, guess what? Your dad, your actual biological dad, will throw you away in terms of would actually say for you to leave the house. You understand? So you need to realize that you're always following yourself the most, that you realize that the world, the outside world here, also has laws, do you understand? That say, you must never kill, otherwise, because since we are in our home, which is the world is our home. The outside world is inside, right? So there's no wrong or right. The outside world is in us. So realize this, there's no wrong or right. Every time that you ask the question and you say right, do you understand, right? There's no right. There's no right or wrong. Each time I say right, I always say there's no wrong or right. Because I realize to just be in the middle. Now, no matter what, you need to realize that those people who are causing havoc and anything bad in the world and are too much bad will be convicted, will be victims of life. Do you understand? It's just the way it is. So realize to never be a victim in the first place. Be a person who sees the good and bad of life. So what do I mean? I mean, would you chuck a baby from a balcony? No. Why would you? Because guess what? Once you do it, you see the consequences of that. Is it worth it? You can do it. Everybody has free choice. And there are people that actually do it. You understand? There are people who kill babies. Now, would you kill a baby? No. No. You never kill a baby. Because why? Because you'll get fined. People will find you and they'll put you in jail for the rest of your life. And is it worth it? No, it's not. No. You understand? I never know I am a yes. So no matter what, you realize this. I'm better than not, and that you realize that the outside world has rules. Now, I'm never the outside world. I'm the inside world. I'm the person who's in the inside. Now, the world has rules. Okay, when you walk out, when you see the outside world, you'll see that the outside world has rules. That you can say. You can say that you see that the outside world has rules. You see that your biological parents have rules. You understand? And you see that when you do a certain aspect of life, you can either be punished or you can either be applauded by the outside world. You understand? Do you see that? So you realize that you see the rules first. You see that there is a legal life. You see that there is a. You see that there is a legal life, and that you see that there is a legal way to do things. There is the yin, which is the illegal method, and the yang, which is the legal method. Understand? There are legal drugs and there are illegal drugs. Go do the legal ones, but make sure that you never do drugs in the first place. Why? Because the legal drugs, I've done them, and it will never increase your lifespan. It will never do anything for you. Just realize that everything that you see in the world is neither good or bad. You understand? But follow the universal rules of life. You understand? What are the universal rules of life? It means for every action that you take, there is a consequence or an applause. You understand? So obviously, are you a person that needs to go to jail? No. Hopefully you said no. No matter what, realize now that you need to be a person who can see the evil and the good in the world and just be neither. Okay? So the good side of the world is against the bad side of the world. You understand? The good side of the world is against the bad side of the world. Now, never be on the good side and never be on the bad side. Just be the person who is in the middle, who's the entrepreneur, just solving people's problems. Now, for example, the politics. They've got the Liberals in Australia and they've got the Labor Party in Australia. You understand? And now they're always in each other's face. They're the good side and the bad side. You understand? And now I'm neither the good side, I'm never the bad side. I'm just me. I'm just a person who sees what they're doing and I just go do my own thing. You understand? So I see what the outside world is doing and I just go and do my life. I'm never a person who resents anybody. I'm happy to forgive myself and everything. Just realize no matter what, that you're never on the good side of things, that you're never on the bad side of things. Otherwise, you believe that you're too right about everything and you'll never learn anything. Otherwise, if you're too wrong about stuff, you realize that you're too much of a victim, that you cry too much and that you just stay away from people and you're depressed. You understand? So I was both spectrums. I was too right and I was too wrong. And I realized there's no such thing as wrong because I've read spiritual books and Eckhart Tolle helped me with this as well, to just live in the moment. And you realize that when you live in the moment, you realize there is no right and wrong. That there is no right and wrong in life. Do you understand?
Hey guys, so I'm a person who follows some of my mentors, and you have to realize that Dean Graziosi is a person who does videos just like this in his backyard, and he's a multi-millionaire right now. Also Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone is a person who travels the world, has a jet, has over 8,000 units, and he does videos like this inside his hotels that he gives $11,000 a night for. You understand? He invests $11,000 a night inside one night accommodation. Grant Cardone. For example, Tony Robbins is a person who's one of the best life coaches on the planet. And guys, he never even shows his face inside YouTube. So he's promoting 3-minute videos. Dean Graziosi is promoting 15-minute videos. Grant Cardone about 20-minute videos. Guys, I'm doing over 1-hour videos, and look where I'm doing it too. So what do we have in common? We are all multi-millionaires.